Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is September 23rd, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. Can you see the clockwise rotation with our ridge of high pressure here? Brought a nice lenticular cloud show across the region yesterday. Some very moist and stable atmosphere, exactly what you need for those lenticular clouds. I'll be sharing some of those pictures here over the next few weeks or so. Got over 12,000 images yesterday out shooting at a couple different spots. So anyway, let's start diving into the forecast here because we got an atmospheric river, a fairly strong one that's been moving into southeast Alaska and portions of western British Columbia here. And then we're going to start to bring some storm systems into western BC here as well. How far will that precipitation and some of that wind extend down across the region here? We'll check that out in the weather models coming up here. So I went to X here yesterday and got one of my images and posted it here for you. And you can see the little Tahoma there on Mount Rainier, and look at these lenticular flying saucer clouds that were going up off the mountains yesterday. Again, over 12,000 images, just letting the time lapses run. And now taking a look at what we can expect for the next couple of days. This is for today. Look at Seattle 72. Nice day coming up here, most likely, even though there'll probably be some high clouds around and some mid-level clouds at times. And you can see Woodinville 73. But look at North Bend tomorrow, 86. Seattle 76. Shelton 80. Look at Centralia 83 and Enumclaw 81 degrees. And then we start to cool down here as we go on and through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as a couple systems will be rolling through the area. If we take a look back towards yesterday, you can see how we started off the day fairly clear, and there were some lenticular clouds across Mount Rainier. You can see the cloud shield moving in as we went through the day. Lenticular clouds continued on at times right there. You can kind of see the lenses downstream. Those lenticular clouds made for a very nice time lapse there. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 it looks like, and at times. And there was a lot of lenticular clouds around the rest of the Cascades here as well. And you can kind of see them showing up at times. But we scroll through the day in the overnight hours, and we start to emerge out to where we are this morning. Sun just now starting to rise across the region. So windy Wednesday. Check it out for eastern Washington. Look at Wilbur up to 45. Ellensburg around I-90 here. It's right down the highway or the freeway there, but watch out for those gusty winds. Might be a nice headwind coming back from Spokane or Ritzville towards the Cascades or towards Ellensburg. Wednesday afternoon and evening. And it's still that time of year where you can have some rapid fire spread if something were to spring up as well. So summer or fall, how about both? Pendleton National Weather Service. Look at some of these very warm temperatures as we go through Wednesday. Then we start to feel the cool down as these systems will be moving through the area. Taking a look at Seattle yesterday, 70 degrees. That's exactly what we expect at this time of year. That's the average high. Nowhere near the record high set back in 1990 of 92 degrees. And again, we got precipitation chances upcoming here, but it might be a tall task to ask us to get back up towards the average for this month, which is 1.6 inches of precipitation. Now, I selected this one here towards Greenwater and 410, just kind of showing you that you can see the solar radiation as the sun starts to rise this morning, just starting to peak out there, and the wind updates every 3 seconds or so. It looks like it's calm. It has a lightning detection system on it, stores all the data for you in the cloud. So if you want a home weather station, you could do much worse for the price. Click on that link down below if you want to buy one. Now, taking a look at 500 millibars at 18,000 feet, this gives us a nice view of ridge versus trough position. There's Washington State, Oregon, British Columbia. You can see the storm, Gulf of Alaska troughing, let's call it there, with that atmospheric river. It's eventually going to bring a frontal system down across the Pacific Northwest. There goes Wednesday's frontal system here, and then we've got a stronger storm likely to develop moving up north of Vancouver Island towards Haida Gwaii. It's going to try to bring some precipitation down towards Washington, Oregon as well, and some strong winds, especially Vancouver Island northward. And we'll take a look at those here in a moment. We'll see what we can expect across some Seattle and Portland as well. And then we scroll way off into the extended forecast. And this is the GFS, if I did not mention this. You can see some troughing maybe as we go on into the following weekend there. We'll worry about that later, one thing at a time. So European on the left versus GFS on the right. We're looking at 6-hour running totals here. And we're just going to go ahead and plow through all the way till there's Wednesday morning. Then as we go through the day, Wednesdays, the frontal system on both models showing up quite well. Frontal system moves through convergent zone across some of the Puget Sound here, perhaps in the wake of that system. And then look at this monster here, this 974, 975 millibar low right towards the Queen Charlotte Islands. You can see the tighter gradients, again, northern portions of Vancouver Island up towards Haida Gwaii and some of the western coast of British Columbia. We continue on through here, and you can see the front will be degrading, but it does impact some portions of Washington, trying to clip portions of Oregon as well. and then we'll worry about what happens after that later on. Now, a little bit closer look here, and this is the European. There goes Wednesday's system here, but then the stronger storm, look at that monster low pressure system, just might not, it may be far enough away to save the bigger gusts from much of Washington and Oregon, however. Still kind of early in the season, but this is quite a punch here for the Queen Charlotte Islands and portions of western BC and some of northern Vancouver Island. First of all, looking at the temperatures, National Blended Models is today and tomorrow. Look at this, 90 degrees, 91 degrees here for Tuesday for Portland. You can clearly see the cool down coming as we start to get these systems through here midweek. Same thing for Seattle, not quite as warm, of course, but the cool down will be coming also. Spokane, looks like Wednesday and Tuesday and Wednesday, the warmest days here before the temperature drop occurs on Thursday and Friday. Now, this is looking at Seattle, Tacoma. You can kind of see the mean is right around 0.2 of an inch. These are not extremely wet systems. We're getting clipped kind of with the front as it's decaying and moving through the area for the Seattle region. And Quileute, a little bit further up on the northwest Washington coast, you can see better precipitation amounts. Looks like around 1/2 inch maybe for each one, maybe a little bit more with that secondary system rolling through. And this is Tillamook. You can see 0.2 of an inch, maybe 0.3 of an inch, and not too much, but it will bring some rain, it looks like. And here's Hoquiam right on the Washington coast there, down towards Aberdeen. You can see some of these ensemble members have some blustery conditions, gusts up over 40 miles per hour. Right now the control run is saying 30 miles per hour, but you will notice some of these blustery conditions as we get the pressure rise behind that system as it moves into western BC. Here's Quileute. Again, look at that control run, 41 miles per hour. Some of these ensembles are up in the 40s, up towards 50 miles per hour as well. Of course, in the northwest Washington coast, you're going to be a little bit closer to that low pressure center that's going to be moving up north of Vancouver Island. Now, if we look at the European model, accumulated 10-meter max wind gusts. So if I scroll through Wednesday, you see maybe just some blustery conditions. Not a big deal with Wednesday, except east of the mountains. Like I mentioned, you could get some gusts over 40, 45 miles per hour. But what I want to show you here is the next system bearing down. And you can see as we go through Thursday afternoon, the winds start to kick up across Vancouver Island, maybe midway up, northwest, western coast of British Columbia and Haida Gwaii again, or otherwise known as the Queen Charlotte Islands. So if we take a look a little bit closer at 100-meter wind speeds, I do want to show you this coming up here. So as we get the frontal system on Wednesday, we bring a little bit of breezy conditions here, not too bad. A little bit more north of Seattle across some of the island counties here. And we get a bit of a westerly surge down the Strait of Juan. You can see the wind shift from kind of south as we go through Wednesday afternoon to about due west as we go through Wednesday, start to move into Wednesday evening there. And that may spawn a convergence zone across some of the north Puget Sound here, maybe north of Seattle on towards the Cascade foothills as we go on in through Wednesday night. And then you see the bigger system arrive as we go on in through Thursday afternoon here. You can kind of see the south-southeast winds and the southeast winds coming at the Strait of Georgia, kind of what's known as a southeast sucker event. You see the southeast winds across some of the northern Puget Sound as well. So the North American model, a little bit wider view of things here. You can see as we go on in through Wednesday, again, the very weak system will be moving through here. You can see some blustery conditions at about 2,500 feet in the atmosphere, but then that secondary system rolling in here, and it does include Vancouver Island with that one. So looking at the GFS accumulated max 10-meter wind gusts, just want to compare things. We're going to move on in through Wednesday, and there goes that system, and then the stronger low here. The GFS looks like it's a little bit further north and west with some of those stronger winds. Doesn't bring maybe to the northwest Washington coastline there, but again, the stronger winds north of Vancouver Island. And now taking a look at maximum individual wave height. So we might get some wave watching here along some of the coastal regions. So as we go through the day, Tuesday into Wednesday, you can see that maybe a nice bump there as we go through the day Wednesday, kicking up some of that wave action if you want to head up to the coast and see that. But probably the bigger waves are going to be occurring as we move on in through the day Friday. You can see it includes a lot of Vancouver Island, Washington, Oregon coast. You'll notice that increase in wave activity as we go through Friday evening. So yeah, it is that time of year. We're headed on into fall, and the stuff gets active on the coastline. But this is no doubt just a taste of what we're going to be getting at times as we go through the fall and the winter months, which are pretty typical for that time of year. 6 to 10 day. Look at this below average across a lot of the west as we go through October 2nd. Again, we'll see how that trends over the next few days. And above average for the southwest, a little bit of below average here for some of the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, downloading all these pictures here, over 12,000 images I got yesterday, as I mentioned, and yeah, it's been taking a few hours to download all those because they're pretty big files as well. So hopefully I'll be building those time lapses here over the next couple of weeks. But otherwise, I hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.